Forward. There we go. Okay, well, welcome everyone. And we're so excited to share about the Healy with you here tonight. And my name is Raji, and I live in Maine, and I just love talking about the Healy. And I have a few friends here that will share a little bit too. And I always love to bring on my dear friend, Dr. Stacy Newteal, and get her point of view and how she's using it, and just kind of have fun and chat it up together.
Hello.
Awesome. So what the heck is the Healy? Like, if you are on this call and you haven't heard about the Healy, we are so excited. So the Healy is this awesome little device, and it is a medical energy frequency device. So really what I love to do here is just to take people from not knowing about the Healy to making sure that everybody knows about the Healy in time. And so it is a class 2 medical device cleared by the FDA for the use of pain due to arthritis. And then there are other applications that the Healy is awesome for, that according to the clearance on the FDA clearance, it says not supported by science or something like that. But people are finding all sorts of benefits in relation to not only pain, but just mental balance, clarity, any sort of area of your life that you're looking for an upgrade, or just a way of being that use energy frequencies to support all over health and well-being. The Healy has frequencies for that. So if somebody can just keep an eye on people still joining, that would be awesome. Although it looks like somebody's trying to join 4 times. they're juggling devices. Okay, so that's like what the Healy is. We're not going to cover a whole bunch of like this, how it works. We'll touch on a little bit. I'd love to show the brochure because it does touch on a little bit of how it works, but since I'm not a quantum physicist, I usually like to stay out of those, like, how does it work? Like, I can't pretend to let you know that. But Stacy, maybe you have some more insight on that. Maybe. Yeah. So I'll just give a little intro of myself. I found the Healy in May, and I was totally looking for something else in my world, in my business world, and always looking for things to add to my own life and well-being protocol. So I was a massage therapist for 20 years and an energy worker, and just always working with clients and bodies, and just always teaching people about ways they can revolutionize and really just add things to their life that will take them to that next level, wherever that is they want to be. So when COVID hit and I wasn't seeing hands-on clients and I heard about the Healy, I was like, wow, this just seems like next level thing to add into my world at just the right time. So that's just a little bit of the backstory of what was interesting. And then it just became so much fun to share about the Healy. And again, I just always love to share with people what are new options and what are new things that are coming out on the market. And so the Healy, again, it just launched in the US in May, and we did over 25 million in sales in the first 7 weeks. And then in September, we did like 25 million in sales in 9 days. So it's just this product that people are really excited to get their hands on. Okay, Stacey, so I'm gonna I'm going to ask you, like, what are you like as a doctor of physical therapy, and what are you super excited about, and what are you finding and loving? Tell us anything.
Oh, geez, everything. I
Right?
don't even know where to start. Um, yeah, so for me, it was similar to what Raji was saying. It was, I had been asking for something different, wanting to really step out of traditional. I still had my foot in the traditional physical therapy world. It's been 16 plus years, and I've also been practicing as a holistic, like, energy worker for that long as well. And it came along, and like, once I sat down and looked at it and looked at the technology and just watched some videos on it, I was like, oh my God, like this thing is crazy. Like it just blew me away. So for me, it's been, um, I've seen a lot for people having great results with pain and just like overall well-being and sense of like that well-being, like relaxation, and like people will go to it for so many different reasons. It's also really nice for me because it bridges the two extremes, I guess, if you will, of the therapies that I had been practicing. And so that part of it's been really, really amazing. And it's funny because I haven't actually used it a lot with clients because my clients want it. So anyone that I've introduced to it is like, I just want it, like which is great because then it has like they still come to me, they still see me for what they're seeing me for, um, and then like I can give them something in the meantime. Not that I couldn't before, but it's something different. It's something. It's just it's just awesome for them to have it in their own hands. So that's been really cool.
Yeah, that's really like it really becomes the joy of just talking about it. And
Mm.
it's funny because I feel like it's been maybe it's been a month since we've done like a presentation like this together, Stacy.
It
And
has,
it's like
yeah.
even since then to now, what's really happened is in my own home, like we went from having one Healy to three. And and so not that anybody needs three, but here's what happened is my husband is he's kind of a skeptic of things like this, and he's like, well, show it to me. So he was really able to um, go from this like, oh, okay, well, hook me up, let me try it, let me use the microcurrents for pain, and being able to have an entry point into like energy frequency medicine, and which he can kind of be like, really? And then like next step is for him to now just grab his own Healy, do a scan, run a program. So it's like bringing him into like his own being and healthcare and empowerment with that in a whole different way that's beyond like, hey honey, like I'm always the one that's suggesting, hey, want a massage, hey, well, maybe I don't say that, let me run your bars, or do something. And now he really has a tool that he enjoys daily. So I feel like in the last like 3 weeks, there's been 3 Heelys going on at my house, like every night, one for me, one for my husband, one for my dog. So we're all just,
I
so,
love
so just, it's just really funny to like, I initially got really interested in the Healy to use with clients that I wasn't seeing during COVID. And then exactly like what you said, all of those clients were like, great, now I'd love to have that for my own self, and like, wow, I'd love to share it with my clients too. So
it.
it just kind of
Yeah.
keeps going and going.
Yeah, the other thing that's been, I just recently started traveling again, within the US. And it's been nice to have the Healy because while I'm gone, I can still touch base with clients and offer them something. I mean, I can do the distant energy healing myself as well, but it's just something to scan their body with and to be able to offer people, and they're familiar with it already. So that's been really cool to be able to just travel and still have like that one-on-one with somebody via Zoom, like we're gonna do tonight, even with the group. That's been really cool. It's been pretty amazing. Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. I would love to share just a quick Healy kind of overview, which I mean, we could talk about it all night long, but I'd love to share a little bit of the science taster in the brochure that is laid out very nicely. And just to give another perspective, so to say. So I'm going to share my screen. And did something that looks like a brochure pop up?
Nope.
No.
It's your screen with the Zoom on it.
Well, that's not helpful.
I do that all the time. I'm like, which browser was I in?
I know.
I think I'd have it by now.
All right, getting closer.
Got it.
Okay, cool. All right. So this is Healy, a wearable medical device for health, well-being, and balance. So you can see the size of it in comparison to like an iPhone right there. So super small. And again, it can be used in practices with clients, and it can be just used in homes for personal usage. So this is just kind of an overview. Welcome to Healy. In a nutshell, this says like there are frequencies for everything, all areas of your life to help increase vitality, make energy flow smoothly, and activate the body and being. And so here is the disclaimer. So Healy is a microcurrent medical device that has been cleared for the US, cleared for the US by the FDA for relief of acute, chronic, and arthritis pain and muscle soreness due to overexertion. Healy also has non-medical applications that use individualized frequencies to help balance your mind and body and relieve stress. So it's always just such I could see this disclaimer a million times and just get so excited when I see like microcurrent, energy, FDA, pain, all just clumped together. We're on a progress track here. And so the amazing people behind Healy are two amazing scientists and creators. One is Marcus Schmiecki, and he is the inventor of the Healy. And Healy has a parent company called Time Waver. And Time Waver is a larger energy frequency machine that is much more for practitioners and doctors in clinics. But it is reassuring for people to know that Time Waver, that sort of technology, has been being developed for the last 15 years. And so although the Healy is new, the technology is not. So the Healy is the Time Waver technology in the smart wearable device. And so the mission of these two scientists is really that was really to find a way for this sort of technology to get into the hands of just everybody and as many people as they could reach. And so Marcus he is not only a scientist, he was also a Buddhist monk. So there are so many videos and webinars and information out there and just hearing him talk. And I know, Stacy, that when you kind of really got into um, just the work of him, that was a real kind of uh,
Oh yeah,
just over the top, like, what? I
totally.
can't believe
Yeah,
the
I
level of
mean,
spirituality and consciousness that he brings.
yeah, he's amazing, amazing. I love to listen to him speak. He's just
Yeah,
unbelievable and he's so brilliant. I could just listen to him all day.
right. I know.
He's great.
Yeah. And then the other partner of this technology, his name is Nuno Nina, and he is a Portuguese therapist who has many clinics in Europe, specialist in cell biology, and also in his research and exploration of a bunch of frequencies. Yeah, a bunch, 144,000 frequencies that they call the gold frequencies. So these have become kind of like Healy's signature and really distinguishes Healy from lots of other products that, because there are a lot of other products that are able to deliver frequencies. Some machines and some other products can deliver, maybe 8 frequencies or maybe 10 or maybe more, maybe less. But the Healy can deliver 144,000 up to nearly 300,000 frequencies. And so what they've discovered is that, and this isn't new science, like frequency technology has been being developed for 100 years, but it's like each frequency and each like hertz, so to say, affects a different part of the body and a different part of the whole being. So having more frequencies available just helps to be able to really get specific. And so again, people do love to know like a little bit of the science. So I do love to share this just to appease those minds and get you um, just really speaking to the fact that although it's energy, it really is science and cellular based. So this is talking about how energy frequencies affect the cells, which of course make for a healthy body. So if you're talking about the cells and the 70 trillion of them, it's talking about cell membranes being filled with voltage potential. And so as a cell ages or is under stress or injury or disease or environmental, that the voltage shrinks in size. And don't quote me if I'm using shrinks. If somebody's out there and you're a scientist or a quantum physicist, if you're like, the cell size doesn't shrink, it's just layman's term for it goes down. And so the brilliance of energy frequencies is that it increases this back to normal size. Do you have any better way of saying that, Stacy?
No, I think you did great. I mean, it basically just, yeah, without getting too much into the science of cells, it's
Exactly.
like yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you could go further into it, but that's not, we don't really need to do that. I think that was great.
Right. Right. Don't quote me on any of it. I'm just a raving fan of the Healy. So the Healy is easy to use and it's powered by apps on your phone. The the brains and the guts of the Healy is the quantum sensor, which is in the device itself, the interface that talks to it and tells it what to do, so to say, is powered by a smartphone. And there are a few editions of the Healy, and whoever brought you on this call can kind of go through those more with you should you like that. But just know that there are four basic models. All are the same device. Each have more programs that they can run. So when we talk about a program, we're talking about specific frequencies that are put together in a specific way for a desired state, so to say, or for an area of that you want to achieve optimal balance in. So those can be pain, those can be mental balance. The Healy runs programs for meridians, all of them, for sleep, for skin, for learning, fitness, jobs, beauty, chakras, protection. And we can chat about what that means in a little bit more. But just seeing these just kind of give a little bit of overview. And this again is just kind of showing more of the program pages. And that is a comparison. So I think that's all I really want to share about the brochure. I just think it's a nice visual for people who haven't been introduced to the Healy before. And then tell them about the resonance part of it, Stacy.
So the resonance is it's called the resonance analysis. So it's the only device that it's the top one, and it is the one that actually will scan your body and your energy field. So that is an awesome feature, and I absolutely love it. So what it does is it scans your energy field, it's reading your information field, and it will populate the top five frequencies that you're in resonance with at that time. So the top five that you're most in resonance with at that time. It's real time. And it's different for like everybody, and it can change, from like 30 seconds to 30 seconds, like because it is real time. So that's really, really awesome. And from there, you can kind of narrow things down if you'd like, or you have the option with the resonance analysis to vibrate. We call it vibrate. And what that means is you don't actually need to be hooked up to electrodes in order to run it, which is really nice. I actually really love that one for at night. I use that a lot when I go to bed. I'll like set it and just go to sleep with it. And it also allows you to do distant or remote healing sessions because it has the capacity to scan and then vibrate. So you can send frequencies to people. Obviously you want to ask them with their permission, of course, but you can do distant healing sessions, and you'll get to see that tonight. We're going to do a quick little demo. And did I miss anything on that, Raji?
No, not at all. I'll
Okay.
just add to that. So that's one of the real key distinguishing pieces between the Healy and some other devices, which again, those are awesome. And I've used things like that before. What's so interesting is when you start to do scans, and it just lets you get deeper down to what could be the root of an issue versus what we think it might be. So it's like you could think that the symptom is like thyroid or something. You're like, oh, I'm going to run the thyroid program, and then what might come up in the scan could be, it could be stress, it could be environmental, it could be intolerances, it could be chakra. So it just gives you a little bit more information, I feel like, and helps just get to the real root
Yeah,
cause.
yeah, I love that, especially when you look at the body as a whole, even in like if I had to compare it, traditional PT, if you come into me, in the traditional setting, it's like, this is the problem, the shoulder, this is what we're going to do to fix it. We're only going to treat that shoulder. and like it's like what is actually causing that shoulder to be acting up. It could be the chakras, it could be an energy block, it could be so many other things. So that is really something I love to play with. Even for myself, I just like to kind of see what it says. And then
Yeah,
if it's something else I want to run, then I choose to run something else. But I usually
right.
go with that.
Right. And then also what it's such a good conversation starter too of like
Right.
again like to when you're talking about like bringing people into their health
Hmm.
and deeper into their own relationship with it that they might this might be somebody who's never really looked beyond that shoulder issue and then
Exactly.
you're like oh lungs are coming up and then like, oh, what's related to the lungs? Like, oh, there's like emotional, it'll come up like emotional or like release, and it might
Hmm.
just like open a door for them that for many of us on the call, that's probably just like what we do. We're always looking for that deeper level, but for somebody, just the regular person, just to just take on like talk about revolutionizing.
Yeah, I love it.
So just yeah, even just the conversation, even if it's just a little seed planted, of and then they're like, oh, maybe I will run that program. um So oh, you know what? I would love to hear. So I know there's some people on here who have like some amazing stories. And so, Christine, do you want to share? Like, I'd love for people to hear, like, okay, well, what's been going on for people who, are playing with the Healy. So I'd love for you to share, Christine.
Sure. My story, and some of you have heard this many times already, but bear with me. So, I've had a chronic back pain problem for many years, and um, I actually, it's a couple months now, started having some additional pain that I didn't really understand, but it kept getting worse and worse. Finally, after about a month, my doctor sent me to the ER, and I thought it was kidneys, or I couldn't figure it out. And it turned out they said it was NSAID stomach damage. So that's from taking too much Motrin or Aleve for back pain over the years. Because I had this one, it started when I was 20. So they sent me home. I was in pain. I kind of described it as it felt like I, ate glass and drank battery acid. It was really, not very fun. I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't going to work. Um, and I was talking to a friend of mine, and she said, "Hey, get a hold of my friend. She's got this new device." So that's when I talked to Raji, and she did the Healy resonance on me, long distance through a Zoom. And my pain was probably about 8, 9 out of 10. And after she did this resonance, which we're going to do in a few, it took my pain down by 50%, just less than, it was like 3 minutes or something. And so I was amazed and started asking more questions. Now, I'm a physical therapist assistant, and I'm also energy healer for many, many years. So I'm familiar with the energy. But this was a device, and I was really curious. But I felt it. I felt it immediately, even though she's in Maine and I'm in Michigan. I could feel it. And so I told her, I said, if you can help me get through this acute pain situation I'm going through, I'll get one. So thank goodness she sent me some more the next day. And I didn't even know when she was going to send it. I was busy that day. I was in and out of appointments. And it actually, I could feel it when she sent it. Now, not everybody feels it, but I'm pretty sensitive to energy. So I did. And I'm like, are you doing it right now? And do you know that that was the first time in over a month that I was able to eat food without pain? So after that, my stomach pain did not come back, and I felt good. And 3 minutes twice in a 24-hour period with this little device helped my pain. So of course I had to get one. And since then, I've been using it regularly. It's helped the back pain. I sleep better. I'm more relaxed. I have eczema, and that's much better. And I could go on and on. And I'm just amazed with the scans because I've tried to use my brain and just pick something. And I find if I follow the scan, whatever the scan says, and then I may do some of the vibrations and then go into the longer programs and do a longer program. And it's not what I thought it was, what it would be, but it helps my situation. I just had that recently. I thought I was having, an allergy, and maybe I was, but the gallbladder kept showing up. So I ran a long program on that and I felt better. So whatever this thing is amazing. It's changed my life. And I have to say that, people say, well, I don't have pain, so I don't need it, because my story is about pain when I tell people. But it does help mental and emotional. I have friends who have gotten better clarity and focus, concentration. The biggest thing I hear is sleep. And I don't know how many of us can get better sleep, right? I can always use that. So I'm just amazed with this device. And thank you, Raji, so much for, helping me be here today. I feel like I'm getting my life back.
Yeah, that's so amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And oh, Annie, do you have something you want to add?
Can I share? I want to piggyback off of something that Christine said in terms of how Healy has helped with emotional stuff. So I have a client that I'm related to who purchased a Healy. But this person started with the Healy Holistic Health Edition, the second one. And so she didn't have access to the resonance. And just to throw it out there for everybody too, the resonance actually comes with like 7 or 8 more programs that are not considered Healy app programs. And they're more alternative type programs like Bach flower remedies or homeopathic remedies. And so when I was checking in on this client, see how the Healy was going for her, she was running a long program, but there was something that pinged me, and I said, hey, there are these other programs that you don't have access to. And I mentioned the Bach flower remedies, and she's like, oh, that sounds really good. What was really interesting was that when I scanned her for all the Healy programs, depression came up, and said she was feeling kind of down. But so she was running that while I scanned the Bach flowers. That came up. I vibrated it to her, and she said, while I was vibrating it to her for 3 minutes, she said, I am feeling so much lighter. I'm feeling so much better. And so actually she said, I'm feeling so much better. So I asked her, well, what does better mean to you? And she said, well, I don't have a cloud over my head anymore. And she said, internally, I'm lighter. So I just wanted to share how, it affects your emotional well-being as well. And there are definitely programs within the Healy app that are for emotional well-being as well. It just kind of hit me like, hey, would you like to try some of these other programs that you don't have access to because she doesn't have the resonance model? So you could approach, it's really interesting how you can get to a certain outcome, but there could be different ways to get there. So using the scan, like Christine was saying, it's really interesting how you think, oh, I got a thyroid problem, and then the thyroid program doesn't come up. I actually got the Healy because I was having some jaw teeth issues. And I was so tempted to just like, okay, I'm going to do the tooth jaw program. But it's like, no, I'm going to run the scan, see what the Healy suggests. And like Christine, I would either vibrate the programs or I would do the long programs. And it was interesting because after having the Healy for 3 days, then the tooth jaw program came up. So I really just had the sense that it's kind of opening the way for my body to be ready for that tooth jaw program. And then when I ran it, I had like a really interesting response. Tears were coming down. I was like, I wasn't screaming out loud, but it was like my body was doing this silent scream. I mean, I literally had my mouth open, but nothing was coming out. But energetically, I could feel a lot coming out. And after I was done, I was so light and so happy, and my whole mouth area just felt so much more loose. And yeah, something changed. And since then, I've also noticed too that how I bite and how I chew is better. It's like it's different. So, you know, it's just
Wow. Yeah, yeah, it's fun to hear like on so many different levels. And with that, what you're saying, Annie, I had somebody ask me if they could speak a little bit more to the chakra and what that would mean. So the Healy, in addition to running programs for the physical body and all of the organs and meridians, it has a chakra. So the chakras are all energy centers in the body, and the Healy can run frequencies for each of the chakras, or it can run programs, or if you're vibrating them, it can run programs for like the top 5 chakras. So that's what I'm referring to. And, we're not going to get too much more into that, but it can also analyze your aura, which is another way that it relates to the chakras and can kind of give you some feedback and insight into what chakras are like high up, and like high as in, say if we're using a scale of 100, which it uses, like our optimal, we'll say, and it will indicate which chakras are lower. So it will deliver the vibrations, or in the microcurrent program, the frequencies that would balance out the chakra system. So I hope that helps that question get clarified. And is there anybody else before we have a little demo? Does anybody have a question, or does anybody have a experience or anything they'd like to share?
I have one question, and it was when um, Stacy, you were saying about when when you do the scan, the resonance, and the five programs come up. It was the way you worded it that I was curious about. So, what does it mean to actually be in resonance with? Because I guess when I was thinking when those 5 were coming up, I'm like, okay, these must be the ones that are out of balance. But when you say in resonance, um, it
It
almost sounds.
it is actually the ones that when you're scanning and it does the analyze and those 5 come up, they are the ones that are resonating at that time as the top ones to run. So yes, they are the ones that are like quote unquote the most out of balance. But like that's not really the way I look at it. You know what I mean? I look at it more as a positive still. But it can be confusing. So it is they are giving you the top 5 that they're recommending you run because those are the ones at that point in time that are, I guess, for lack of a better way of saying it, the most out of balance. But it's not even necessarily just that. It's whatever's resonating for your body because there could be other things that are, you know, different percentages, but that's what it's recommending. Like kind of to what Annie was saying, like, you're going to run something first and it might get your body ready for the other things that are underlying that are actually more out of balance. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so instead of thinking of it as out of balance, it's really more looking at it as what support your body needs right now.
Exactly. So it's whatever your body and your energy field is actually most in resonance with as what will benefit it at that point in time.
Perfect. Awesome.
Okay.
And Katie, how is it going for you? I know you were excited to
I try to wear it. I try to do a program in the morning and a program at night, and I've been sort of playing around because it's still relatively new to me. I'm having a lot of fun just sort of learning about it by experimenting. Um, I have done a few remote. I've worked out with my daughter because I know Raji, you were there when Bridie was on with us, and you know, she's got some things going on, and she was completely open to me using it with her. So I'm running some stuff with her and doing it. Um, I guess it's the blue program, right? Because the blue program is the one that has the fingerprint. So I'm using that with her. And then I have my first person that wants to see me as a client. And so that's kind of interesting because I also, as a yoga teacher and as a Reiki person and a Thai yoga massage person, I can't do a lot of these things. So it's giving me access to my people in a way that, you know, Zoom yoga is great and everything, but I want to be able to reach my other clients. And so, yeah, I'm really curious to see how that's going to go. So I just want to have the right language around it too, you know, so to, um, to think of it instead of as an imbalance as like how it's best going to support me or my daughter or whoever I use it with. I think that's really useful language. But I'm loving it. I'm having fun. I feel really good. I'm in the middle of leading an Ayurvedic cleanse right now, and we're in the middle week, which is a Khichdi cleanse. And usually everyone's like very low energy and like, so I'm working with 28 people on this cleanse, and they're all like, oh my God, you know, and I'm like, I don't know. I just have energy. I have way more energy than I thought I would. I'm usually like at the bottom of the barrel right now in the middle of this thing. And I said to my husband the other night, I'm like, I feel so good right now. I was like, is it the Kitchery? Or I was like, is it the Healy? And so anyway, that's
Right,
kind of
right. And how fun that it could be all of those things. And I love the point that you're bringing up too, is that it's fun. You know, it really is. It becomes just such a part, and that health can be this joyful exploration, and like it makes you feel good. And yeah, that's why we're here. Deirdre, I see you have your hand up. Do you have a question? Would you like to unmute?
Yeah, hi, I'm Dee.
Hi.
I know a couple people who are on the Zoom. I was late to the Zoom because I joined the wrong one somehow. I don't know how I did that, but
Oh, I did too. Don't worry.
I got on. It was people who were doing Healy, but it wasn't you people.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what I did, but I know you're getting ready to do sampling, and so I have only been on maybe just a few minutes before Annie just spoke. And she's one of the people I know. You're going to do a sampling now. I understand that this is not good for people who have had heart issues or stents. Is that correct?
The way the contraindications read is that it is not indicated for people with pacemakers.
Okay.
And there is something in the manual, and I'm actually not going to speak to this on video. I can send you the manual. What we're going to do, the vibrations, there are no contraindications for. So this sort of like remote session with the microcurrent, you'll want to get with Annie or whoever and discuss and make your own decision about that.
Okay, so it's not actually for me. My husband's in the house, and I just want to make sure that it would, and he's the one who has the stent. So I just want to make sure that if I stay on and go through that session, that sampling, that it's not something that will affect him negatively. Okay.
According to the contraindications as given, there are none for the blue dot. And then, and then Kate, you can give that information to Annie to pass on that I sent you recently about that.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And Kate knows me too.
Yes. Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to share my phone screen so you can take a little peek at the interface of the Healy. Okay, and can you see something that looks like a cell phone?
Yep.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, So I will run us some vibrations, and it's like while I'm doing it, you can kind of peek at the programs that come up also. So that's always fun. So the Healy taps into your, and what it's reading your bioenergetic and your bioresonant field. And so I'm going to add us as a client. And as you can see, you can add a person, you can add an animal, a plant, an organization, a building. So I have my home like as a structure and, you know, like an entity in my Healy that I run programs on. Great for, I love to run the protection programs on my home. All right, it is, let's add us as a group. And what's today, Wednesday?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so let's say like hump day play. I don't get out much. And so this is just going to let the Healy tap into all of us as a group. And let's include anybody who is watching in the future. And let's run, you know, Annie, you said the Bach flower remedies, and that was exactly what I was going to play with. Oh, you know what? Before I do that, hold on. I did want to show you some of the programs that come up. Okay, so in addition to the pain programs and the learning programs, there are programs for fitness. So within the pain, there are programs for like local, there are programs for chronic pain, back pain, migraine, insomnia, depression, anxiety. In the learning programs, there are programs for memory, for focus, for attention, or concentration, and also like kind of relaxing that. So if you're somebody who's hyper focused, maybe it would give that balancing effect. There are programs in the fitness that run optimal weight and circulation, stamina, regeneration, programs for muscles. And within the beauty, there are aging programs, programs for skin elasticity, for hair and nails, which get you into like collagen, hyaluronic acid. So just boosting all of the systems of the body. In the bioenergetic balance programs, there are programs for the immune system, for bacteria, for viruses, for menstruation, for menopause, for potency. It just goes on and on. So basically, if you have an area that you want to optimize, there is a program for that. All the meridians, so all of the acupuncturists that I know are just like, what? And a lot of them say like, I knew you didn't need needles. For chakras, the protection programs are great for EMFs and electrosmog. You know, it keeps coming up for me, and I was talking to somebody on here about this, is geopathy. And I didn't really know what that was until it started to come up. And wow, that has been such a powerful program. So it's just like balancing in the earth, or where there's been any disturbance in, like literally in the earth around you, or that you're just affected by, maybe it's not even around you, but just so fascinating. And then with the resonance model, which is the Healy that does the scanning, it also comes with the Bach flower remedies. You can run homeopathy programs, amino acids, flowers, gems. I love the gem programs. And the Schulzer salt, yeah, Schulzler salts and I Ching. Did Bach flower remedies sound good for
Sounds awesome.
does that sound good for like
Yeah. I'm pretty excited for this right now.
it's right. You're like, oh, somebody's else running a program for me. It's like when somebody else makes you a sandwich, like you have
Right.
one, but yeah. Let's make Stacy a sandwich. All right. So I am going to, because I have the Healy and I just happen to be talking and doing this, I'm going to scan for all of us. So here we go. So this is just really about the intention and just us getting present to be located in the field to be scanned. All right. So what comes up the highest that we are in greatest resonance with right now? Number one, beach. The burden of intolerance, prejudice, arrogance, and lack of understanding for the mistakes of others is balanced. Ooh. Understanding, tolerance, openness, empathy strengthened, therefore promoting the personal development potential. Rockwater, the burden of overcorrectness, perfectionism, and rigid pretensions. Again, tolerance, openness, understanding of new opinions, ability to let go of the principles are strengthened, and thereby personal development is supported. Yeah, we're gonna send these out way beyond our group here. Vine, grapevine, the burden of selfishness and tyranny. One who wants to stubbornly carry out his will is balanced. The ability to work constructively and team building with his fellow human beings is strengthened and thereby aids the personal development potential is supported. Aspen, the burden of unexplainable vague fears and premonition is balanced. Trust in nature. Walnut, the burden of insecurity, interferences, and inconstancy is balanced. The ability to remain faithful to the fundamental change in life situations and to continue on one's path is strengthened. Wow. Potent. All right, let's send these babies out to us and to anyone who is open to receiving it, and the earth, and any situation that can be blessed by this. I'm going to set it for 3 minutes. I'm going to stop talking and receive myself. All right. And that is complete. That felt pretty nice.
It did.
It was just like,
Mhm.
it was just like peace.
Mhm.
And a little
Yeah.
wavy, like in the head.
I just realized how like I had been so contracted. So it helped me expand out more. Yeah.
Interesting. Anybody else have anything? Oh, I love that. So, Amy Kay said my dog let out a big sigh. Me too.
Actually, something that I just noticed was that I've had this tension in my neck all day, and I've been running Healy programs, but that was the one that released it all. So yeah,
That's cool. Or maybe it was somebody else made you a sandwich. All right. Well, that's just a little, intro overview. We love to take people from not knowing about the Healy to knowing about the Healy. So if you have questions, that are beyond, you want to know how the science works, you want to know more about it, you can get back to the person who brought you here and get all of those questions answered. And then just know that the invitation is, again, for you just to know about the Healy and to know that it's available. People are welcome to be a customer, and that Healy is also a social selling model. So if you are one that has clients, or you have a personality that you like to share things and talk about things and just educate people on next level products, and this sounds like up your alley, just know that that's part of the whole culture, and that we are really all just pioneering this journey with Healy. So whatever level, if any, vibes for you to find out more about, just go back to whoever got you here and get all of your questions answered. And any last minute questions or anything that doesn't feel complete that I can answer or speak to before we hop off?
Thanks everybody for hopping on with
Okay.
us.
Yes, thank you so much, and have a beautiful night.
Thank you, Kelly and Stacey.
Yeah,
Thank
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 Thanks,
you.
Stacey. Thanks, everybody.